Hello and welcome. Today I want to share a very quick and easy project, which is altering playing cards. And I have some examples to show you of ones that I have done in the past. That one had a lot of texture on it and paint. That one with a flower on top of it, some embossing, some images I cut out of a book, and some more embossing and some painted papers that I had. Now with these playing cards, you can decorate or paint the back or add decorative paper to the back, but I didn't do that. I don't normally do that. You can leave the numbers in the corners. In that case, I used some cards that had letters, or you can cover the whole thing up. So today I'm going to cover the whole thing up. I took out some cards. I took out some some pieces that I'm planning to use as embellishments, and I already fussy cut several images that I have that I bought from Etsy a while ago. I love some of these old vintage photos. I sized them down quite a bit so they would fit on the cards, and then I also took out some gel prints and some book pages to use. My plan is I am going to attach the book page to the card and then a little bit of the gel print paper. You'll see in a minute how that works. So I use my Uhu glue stick, and I have not had any problems with that glue stick, and I don't have any issues with things falling off or coming off. But I know a lot of people don't like glue sticks, so please, if you don't want to use a glue stick, use the glue that you prefer. I glue my book page to the background and then trim around it. To be honest, I should have gotten some smaller scissors to do this trimming, but they weren't right near me and I didn't want to get up and go get those scissors. So I'm using these big scissors, which aren't the best, but whatever, it works out. No matter what glue I use, I usually have to put a little extra on the corners for some reason. I don't know why. So anyway, that's done. And then I'm going to use this background because it's one of my favorites that I created on a gel plate. I wanted to say that I was just trying to figure out which part of the gel print I want to use and just tear enough to use on the card, but I didn't want to tear the whole thing in case I wanted to use that other part of it for something else. Anyway, I wanted to say earlier that those digital images that I printed out, I will leave a link to that set of photos that I purchased in the description box below. They are all like beach and swimsuit images. They're really nice. I like them a lot. Anyway, and also I can leave a link to the video how I made those gel printed images, because I actually made a video of that. So there you see how easy it was to create my background. I wanted to add just a couple of embellishments. I don't need a lot. I pulled out these little like faux stamps that I got from your Creative Studio boxes a while ago, and I thought I would use those. I like to, when I'm doing a project, I like to pull out things that I might use so that I don't have to, think about like everything I own and what to use amongst my, big stash of stuff. So I'm just trying to kind of figure out how I'm going to use those faux stamps, but I stick that down and then I decide I don't like it. I'm going to use a more colorful sticker. So later on you'll see that I actually changed that up too, but you'll see later how that turns out. This woman is standing in water, but I didn't cut out the water part of the photo, so I have to later, I'm realizing there that I have to kind of anchor her image with something, and you'll see how I accomplish that later too. If you have photos that have some, when you fussy cut them, they have some white along the edges, you can use the distress ink to make those less noticeable, and it works really well. So I'm going to do the same thing for the rest of the cards, really the same process for all of them. And so I'm just showing you another one that I'm doing, just to show you another card and how I make the background. So I decided to, put some papers on the left side, put some on the bottom. You'll see in a minute. I'm going to glue all that down, and there you have what I have done. So that woman, I just wanted to show one more little bit of my process. Because she's leaning on something in the photo, I cut that part out. She was leaning on a chair, and I thought I would use that stamp there with the palm tree, since this is, kind of a tropical sort of picture with her bathing suit. I thought that would work well. So I put that, glue that down as well, and that woman, and then I have all my backgrounds, and now I'm going to add some embellishments. I thought I would add just a couple of things to the backgrounds of each of these cards because they don't need a lot. They're small. I don't want them to have too many things going on, too many things competing with each other. And so I thought that these little pieces, which are really nice, and they're actually vellum, I thought those would work really well. But in the end, I used some of them, and you'll see at the end how they turn out. But I tried and tried, which I cut a lot of this next part out. I tried, like you see there, cutting images out from the little vellum pieces and trying them here, there, everywhere. And a lot of them just didn't work for me, I think because the images are in black and white, the focal images, and then if you put down another black and white image, I don't know, I just didn't think they worked well as an embellishment on these cards. So as you can see, I tried that piece there, glued it down, but I didn't like it. If you work quickly, you can pull that off without too much damage before the glue dries. So I'm gonna go ahead in a minute here and show you the next step and how I go forward from here, because a lot of this is just doing what you see there, is cutting images out and trying them here, there, and everywhere. I ended up pulling out some postage stamps, some real postage stamps, and using some of those, and I ended up also cutting out some little scraps of paper. You can see there to kind of anchor some of the women and the photos. So I kind of skipped way ahead because, like I said, I cut a lot of the back and forth about trying those little vellum pieces. I cut that part out, and hopefully you can see there that I did use some of them, and then I used a couple of real postage stamps. Like on that one, I ended up covering up the stamp, the faux stamp sticker that I used. If you remember from that one, that was the very first one I started. I covered it up with the real stamp because I just didn't think the color of the other one worked well. And then I found some words, which I'm gluing on there, as you can see, from an old book. And I just wanted to have one, and maybe that one had two words. Again, to keep it fairly simple. I didn't want too much on my cards. That one there, you can see that I just used a little scrap piece of book page that I had and put it down at the bottom to kind of anchor that piece, the focal image, because it's kind of just floating in midair. I did the same with the woman above that. And then I'm going to do that with this piece. I already added a pretty piece of, again, scrap paper there, and I want my word to stand out, so I'm going to add another little scrap. This is another scrap from your Creative Box paper, and it's actually a sticker, so I'm able to pull off the back of that and attach it down and then glue on my word, excuse me. And that way the word stands out more because it was on paper that was almost the same color as the background there. So I've slowed this down again because I know went through this pretty quickly, and I didn't want to be too rushed. Something that I wanted to say about these cards is that the idea of this process really can be used with a lot of different things. Almost everybody has book pages that you can use in your background. And if you don't have, these same papers or embellishments that I have, you can use, any kind of paper that you have. Now I'm going to edge each card with some brown distress ink. I really like that look. I think it's optional, but I really like the way it turned out. So I'm again trimming with my giant scissors, but I edge all of the cards with brown ink, and that's my last step. Here's how my cards turned out. I was thinking about drawing black lines around each one with my black pen, but I decided after edging them with brown distress ink that they look fine. I like the way they look like that. I like the simpleness of it, and yet it's just enough, because if I added anything else, I think it would be way too busy with the gel prints in the background. I just like the way they turned out. I'm really glad, because I was doubting myself there for a while. I hope you enjoyed this little project. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.